This is a watermelon beer. You can have that. That's probably a piece of shit. All right, you ready? Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Welcome all of my friends to the show. It's Couch Pilots. We dare to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, aka the Black Capsule, and across from me is my co-captain in life, and yours. His name is Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening.
Good evening, my friend, my partner for life.
Yeah, it's a lot of times. I think gay people have shanghaied the word partner, and they just every time you hear partner, you think, oh, there's a couple of gay guys.
Right.
Well, you and I aren't gay.
No, but we're partners in this huge mecca of a business that we have, podcast business.
That's right. And I mean, and to a degree, we're in love.
Oh yeah, I mean, guys can be in love with each other and not be weird.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, without getting all gay on each other. I don't gay you at all, really.
No, you can say I love you to somebody, another of the same sex person. You can say I love you to him.
I used to work with a Turkish man, okay, and he came to this country to work in hospitality probably 12 years ago.
He came to do that.
Yeah, he
didn't just get stuck in it.
No, he had worked in hospitality all over Europe, and he eventually made his way to these United States, and his brother came with him. And they were in Champaign, Illinois, working for a property over there, and they would walk around town holding hands. A couple of guys holding hands.
They would hold hands.
And that was that's a sign of love and friendship for another, like a heterosexual love. But
in India?
No, he's Turkish.
Oh.
But no one, but everyone is like, he's like, why can't we get girls? Why don't girls like us? It's because they're walking around looking like a couple of gay fellas.
Right, exactly. It's amazing. You go to different...
Whoops.
This show is built on the back of his back burps.
Tooth puppy.
That was early on. It was like 2 minutes in.
Talking about gay guys?
No, you're burping.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love gay guys. I love you.
I love you, gay guys.
I love DSJ. I love everybody.
Oh, DSJ is that's for the uninitiated, for first time listeners of the show. No, that's fine. DSJ is Down syndrome John. He waves the golden cones down the tarmac, tells us how to get it up, how to bring it right back down.
And I do all of those stuff in the middle.
Without a doubt.
A lot of times you forget that.
I usually forget it. I don't think he's a gay guy though. You kind of threw him in there. He's so not gay that he's got a baby on the way.
Well, I was just talking about love. All the people I love. I wasn't talking about him being gay. It was just about the people I love.
Okay. So like people outside of your immediate family that are men that you love.
Sure.
Okay.
You want me to list them off?
Let's count them down.
Adam Z.
Love Adam Z.
Dave Rowan.
He's gay.
Oh, that's true. So can I still love him?
That's a tricky situation.
Do I have to love him in a different way?
Well, there's two guys. One's a gay guy, and one's not a gay guy.
But you say I love you to both of them.
Ooh, it's a real fuzzy line. You got to be careful there.
I don't even think I want to keep going.
You know what? You're done with the list?
Yeah, I'm.
In fear of more qualifiers.
I'm afraid my secret will get out.
Well, you know what I'm not afraid though of getting out is our phone number. Call the show, right?
Yes.
Call the show at 910-PILOTS-1 or 910-745-6871, and I'll be goddamned if someone didn't call it recently by one of the people on your list that you love. His name is Adam Z.
Exactly. And as I'm getting ready for this, because I have to do things differently nowadays, let's go ahead and make the announcement about the website.
The website, yes. We work through Libsyn, and they're very great to work with. They let us use all sorts of platforms. And in doing such, they allowed us to now have our own website. I mean, FCF Network, that's the network we call home. You can go to fcfnetwork.com. It's all the family of the shows here. They're all free, all fun, entertaining. And you can find us there. Or you can go now to COUCHPILOTSPODCAST.com. And there's all of our episodes there, too.
Yeah, episodes, all of our... You go to CouchPilotSPodcast.com. It has all the links to our social media, iTunes, everything. It's got an About page. It's got all of the episodes right there.
Right at your fingertips.
Everything is at your fingertips except one thing.
Uh-oh, what's that?
They don't have a button for the YouTube page, and I emailed them today, and they said, no plans to do it. You're on your own. Figure it out.
Oh, no.
So I said, fuck you.
Oh,
but I did not say fuck you to this voicemail that we got.
Hey, guys, this is Tyler. Just want to say I'm relieved that my theory was wrong.
That is not right.
As soon as I found out.
That's not right at all.
Adam Z, not Tyler. We heard that last week, or a couple weeks ago, I think.
Jesus, criminally. I've got to get a secretary.
Big ups to Tyler. Thanks again for that voicemail. I think we got some more fan feedback coming down the pike from him. But, yeah, let's hear from Adam
guys,
Z.
It's Adam from the Low Blow Podcast. You're right. I'm a very, very, very busy man, but I always take time to listen to one of my favorite podcasts. I just want to give you guys props. I love you guys, and you're all amazing, and your show is one of my favorites. I do want to touch on one point. I just got done listening to your last episode that was released today, February 20-something or other. I don't know much about docking. Sorry, I've never docked. My go-to, my Dave-atar, if you will, is Dave Rowan, as you all know. You've already reached out to him. I was confused as a child when I saw foreskins in pornos. I asked my parents why I didn't have one, and they said, well, you're kind of Jewish. And I went, really? And they went, no, we just cut your dick, which was awkward for me. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about all that at some point on a show. I'm going to stop. I'm going to put my penis away now. Anyway, I love you guys. You have a great show. And keep doing what you're doing. Keep flying safely across America and this great nation and the world. And, yeah, you guys have yourself a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Love you. Okay, bye.
I got to admit this. Adam Z is my confidence builder.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk to Adam Z, or whenever I hear them talking about us on Low Blow or anything, he's so complimentary. He's so nice that I all my depression, all my fears about how horrible my life is,
and there's a lot,
and how much of a disappointment I am,
all
goes away for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's a little shot in the arm you need, right?
Shot in the arm, one phone call away from Adam, just a shout in the arm. R.I.P. Ozzy.
What kind of relationship does Adam Z have with his family that he can go up to him and say, hey, I watch pornography and they have extra penis skin and I don't have that? What kind of relationship does he have with his family he can say those things?
It's a close one because, I mean, I talk about sex and stuff in front of my mom.
Yeah, I mean, you affectionately have a nickname for your mother.
Oh, yeah, she's the blowjob queen.
Yeah, that's pretty weird to say that about
your
mom.
She named herself that.
Maybe even more we're
You want to hear some more fan feedback?
Not before I thank Adam Z again for calling and leaving that message. We really appreciate it. Well, we're big fans over here, Adam and Dave of the Low Blow Podcast, and looking forward to more episodes of the Blunder Years. So keep them coming, boys.
Get your ass together, Adam Z.
Do it.
So you have anything else going on?
But we've got some more fan feedback.
Yeah, I got one more here from our first lady. I feel like she needs like a dun 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 dun.
They just did it.
Oh.
The First Lady of Couch Pilots, Lori Garcia, creator of the television program Super Clyde.
Exactly. She left a message on our Instagram page, which is couch_pilots_podcast.
Yep.
Made that really difficult for our frequent flyers. This was from Season 7, Episode 3, The Shadow. Only the Shadow knows. It says, Dear God, that was a great episode! ! I'm going to make America great again by grabbing pilots by the pussy.
It's always great when I hear a woman say pussy.
Oh, yeah. I wish she would call in and just say pussy 13 times.
Yeah.
And then she said, by the way, my first lady pick got the most likes because sex sells and I'm badass. Because we had mentioned that of all the show art that we posted, all the pictures that we've posted on our Instagram page, hers got the most likes.
That's because you're probably the most attractive person we put on that. We try to do a lot of fan art. I
spend a lot of time doing fan art.
There's fan art. There's show art. But there's nothing fun or sexy about it. People want to see cute girls, and when you post a cute girl, of course people are going to like it.
Right. I try to bring sexy back. And
how's that going for you?
Not so good.
You haven't done it?
No, it's harder than it looks. I mean, bringing sexy back is not easy.
I know myself well enough to not even attempt to do it.
But I think you are sexy in like a nerd way.
What's the nerd way? Did you say? Did you mean to say nerd way? What? Holy mercy!
Mercy.
That's my job. You try to take my job?
No. You get it up
You do the stuff in the middle.
and you bring it down. I would never get in the way of that.
All right, fair enough. I want to talk to you a little bit. I know we usually say no religion, no politics, no cops.
No. Oh, and no her.
Yeah, so I do want to get into religion a little bit today. What's that?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So I don't know. I've been having a lot of feelings about existentialism lately.
Oh shit!
What's that?
My phone's going off. Do you mean?
Yeah, quick.
Right.
Make it quick, please.
Hello. Yes, this is.
Really unprofessional.
Oh my god. Okay.
What's this?
All right. Just go ahead and talk to like the listeners and stuff.
Okay, so
Okay.
So I was walking
he doesn't
down
have
the
a
sidewalk,
driver's license.
and I saw a dandelion coming through the crack of the sidewalk, and it
His social security number is
really made me think.
374
how precious life
13
is.
1211.
Life will find a way.
Yeah, that's him.
There's so much that can be. It's so such a minimal thing, but at the same time, a dandelion coming through the crack in the sidewalk, it means nothing, and it means everything.
Yeah, definitely. We will.
It's hard not to look at that and think about my own mortality.
Okay. We're doing a show. We're about ready to take a flight.
Around me.
We can come over in about an hour and a half.
If someone walks over it, they could snap it and kill it instantly.
All right.
Or it could grow into something
thank you very much
beautiful.
for calling.
It's
Thank you very much.
It's quite an algorithm.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I don't even know if we should talk about this on the show. Do you want to turn off the microphone?
I honestly, I wish we would turn off the phones. I don't know why you're taking calls on the show.
Well, it had a number that I didn't know, and I thought maybe it was Lori Garcia.
I get it. I would have definitely answered if I thought for a moment Lori Garcia was calling me.
Well, I don't know if we should really talk about this with the listeners listening. Maybe we should take our headphones off.
Thankfully, just like take our headphones off so the listeners don't hear. Well, that is rock solid.
I thought
logic.
it was good.
I will say,
so good I laughed myself.
Unlike the Low Blow podcast, I think they do a live version of their show where like on Facebook, you can hear them do it live, and then I always hear it later on iTunes. We don't do that. So if you want, you go ahead and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. We can just cut it out of the show if we
That's
have
true.
To. So and I'll just leave my headphones on if that's all right.
All right, and click. Okay.
All right.
I just got a call from the hospital in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
Are you okay? Are you in a good sound of mind and body?
I'm in a seated position of that.
All right.
All right.
DSJ has been in a plane accident.
Okay. He was in a plane?
He was in a plane. This is what I had to confirm his identity.
Right.
First of all.
His dental records?
No, I gave him a social security number because he doesn't have a driver's license. They kept telling me what's his driver's license number, and I was like, I don't know. They're like, what's his date of birth? I'm like, I don't know, but I know his social security number.
He's ageless.
Exactly. I guess I shouldn't make jokes. I apologize. Supposedly, him, his wife Penelope,
right, his new wife,
new wife, and his mom were in a 4-person plane with Harrison Ford.
Stop right there. They were in a plane with Harrison Ford.
Right.
This is not a coincidence. This is the actual actor, the film actor, the legendary Screen.
Right, from Star Wars, from Fugitive, from How I Met Your Mother,
from Get Off My Plane.
Yeah, throw my girlfriend off the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So DSJ he's kind of bruised up, but he's okay. His mother is in a coma.
Wow.
He didn't give me any information on Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Something about a privacy, like his agent has already said not to release any information or something. I don't know. The guy was Turkish, so he was like holding hands with like a nurse next to him. I don't know.
That
I
makes
couldn't
sense.
hear it. But he said that Penelope is dead. She got hit in the head by the propeller, and it chopped her face off, and she bled to death.
Oh my God! Like the movie with John Travolta.
Exactly like John Travolta movies.
That Face Off movie.
Mm-hmm. With Nicolas Cage, right?
Harrison Ford wasn't in that movie, was he?
I hope not. So, Because I didn't see DSJ all day today. And then, we had to start the show.
We talk about that sometimes. He's always out there on the tarmac, waving those golden cones. Sometimes I don't see him before we get out there.
Right, but there's that one time where he didn't come, and he had his calendar wrong, and, we had that whole issue, and we took care of it. So I thought maybe that's what it was. And I know that you got right out of the limo, came right through the pilot's lounge, and came right into aboard, so you didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, later on, I want to find out why you were in a limousine.
Yeah, you don't ask.
But right now, it's not really a good time. I don't want to make it about us. I want to make it about DSJ and his wife.
His wife.
Or
ex-wife.
His dead wife.
Dead wife. So she is dead.
She's dead. The mom is in a coma, and DSJ just has some bumps and bruises. Don't know about Harrison Ford.
I assume they were on their way back to Central Illinois because John should be here.
Right. There was something about they went to like a cattle ranch in Alabama.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know. Maybe it was an investment thing he was looking into because he's got. So, the good thing is DSJ is okay. Bad news is his brand new wife is dead. More bad news is I think he would have rather it been the woman who died would have been the woman carrying his baby. Who's not his wife.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, just think of it as like a set of stairs in the sky.
You know damn well that he's looking forward to having this child, and he doesn't want to terminate this pregnancy. He's looking forward to being a father.
Right, but I just worry about him.
I worry about him too.
All right, so once the show's over, we've got to fly. I'm assuming we'll have enough gas. I don't really pay attention to that because he does all that.
Yeah, I've never once looked at the gas gauge. Okay,
but we'll have to fly over to Mobile.
It's okay.
To pick him up.
We have a lot of show to do still.
Can we fit a dead body in the back of this?
I have before. I want to say let's try to turn this around. Not the plane itself, but metaphorically.
Sure. Okay.
Have a good show, and let's we'll count it out for the edit point.
Okay.
3, 2. All right. Thanks for that fan feedback again, everyone. That was fantastic. Let's board this plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Flying the friendly skies.
That's what we do.
There's tens of thousands of flights across this great blue marble that is Earth every day.
Yeah, and it amazes me. It really does amaze me. If you think about all the planes that are in the sky at the same time across the United States,
tens of thousands.
How they don't just bang right into each other.
You ever been take an airplane ride?
Yeah, I've been on a few.
Yeah,
been on a few.
One of the last time I was on one, I looked out the window and I saw another airplane.
Oh, see, that would be weird.
It was very bizarre.
I looked close?
Out. In the scheme of things, yes, I guess. It was probably a couple miles away, but when you're up in the sky and you look down, all you can see is clouds. It was going perpendicular. Like I looked out the window and I was like, "That's a goddamn plane, right?" It was really bizarre to see a plane in flight when I was in flight.
It's like, hey, we're not in the Air Force. We shouldn't see ones right next to us.
And that's exactly right. With all the flights in the air, there probably are within just a mile or less of each other all the time.
And it just goes to prove how good of a job DSJ does.
Without a doubt. And you know what? I think of those tens of thousands of flights, we're the only ones that talk about failed television pilots mid-flight. Fair to say?
I would hope that we're the only ones to do it. Otherwise, we've got to rebrand.
Well, it's a failure to launch in Australia.
Well, they don't even launch. They don't even get them in the air.
That's true. They don't go in the air.
No.
They just stay on the ground down under. Down under. That's how they talk down there.
In a cave.
What? In a cave?
In a cave? Down under? Do they have caves in Australia? I digress.
No. I know for a fact they don't.
We watch failed pilots. That's where you were going.
I'm
sorry.
That's it. And today, we discussed the pilot episode of Heil, Honey, I'm Home from the year of our Lord 1990. Great year.
It was a pretty good year.
Do you remember that year pretty solidly? It's coming on. It's 27 years ago at this point.
Yeah. I remember I was just starting high school.
Okay, and we've talked about you in high school before, and it's not always.
It was not well.
It's not been a bed of roses.
No, it was not a bed of roses. 1990, I was a freshman in high school. I was in driver's ed because I was gonna get older before everybody else, so I was in driver's ed. Yeah. Outside of that classroom, there was a young girl's locker. Her name was Nicole Maltby. Nicole Maltby very timid girl who had never had the touch of a man, had never kissed a boy. Little freckles on her face, long, dark, curly hair. Always wore big sweaters and turtlenecks.
Whatever happened to Nicole Malkbeek?
I don't know. I can't find her on Facebook. I looked for her a couple weeks ago.
I feel like you do it every day. The way you talk about her, I feel like it's a daily occurrence trying to track down this beautiful young girl and maybe a touch of a grown man now, huh?
No, I just wanted to see what they end up looking like.
Isn't that funny? To see? Yeah, I have a real no way of doing that. I'm not on any social media, so I don't track down old people to see what they look like.
Old people?
Yeah, I'm constantly looking up the elderly.
You're like going to senior center. Hello? Can I go through your hallways and see if I know any of these old ladies?
Is this what I'm going to look like? Oh, God, no!
The Hallways of Always.
The movie Always?
No, Hallways of Always was a song by the Honky Tonk Hustlers.
Oh, of course. Everyone knows the Honky Tonk Hustlers. Let's go back in time. You and me. Let's get not gay and hold hands and step into the digital time machine that is Air Force One, the very plane that we're riding in right now. 1990. We have to put our minds in that year to properly digest this pilot. So let's talk about some current events from that year.
Well, before that, we should figure out how old we were.
Okay, we can do that. I was 9.
I was 15.
That is funny. maybe more so, because it doesn't make any sense. 15, you were a freshman?
Yeah.
Were you really? Did you get held back one year?
Damn right. First
Hell
grade.
yeah.
I wouldn't read out loud.
Just
And
like
so
as a principal?
I didn't like to read out loud, and so they thought I couldn't read.
It's like a moral code you had not to read out loud?
No, I just didn't like all the attention.
And look at you now.
Scouring. Only 87 people heard my voice today. Fuck everybody.
1990. Art thieves steal 12 works of art from
12? 12 works of art.
You don't give a shit. What are you doing over there?
I do. I'm placing an order with a stewardess.
Art thieves steal 12 works of art from the Isabella Gardner Museum in Boston.
I remember this. I do remember. I honestly do remember this.
We have done a few shows from 1990, so it's becoming harder and harder to pull popular events from that year that we talk about. I don't remember this at all, but it seemed to be a touch point of that year. What do you remember about Art Thieves?
I just remember that it was in Boston, and I had never ever heard. How do you say that? Never ever heard?
Yeah, Everclear. Oh no, you're so. It's okay. You've never heard of Art Thieves before, or you never heard of Boston.
That was the first case I'd ever heard of, and they stole I think I remember they stole 12 paintings.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
it's all right.
Art Thieves.
We need to quit hiring Islamic stewardesses,
fundamentalists,
because they cannot read my writing.
Well, your handwriting is very tiny. It's tiny writing.
You know what they say about guys with tiny writing?
Huge dicks, just unbelievably large, problematically huge penises. I think of Art Thieves. I think of the 18th century, early 19th. I don't think of modern times people stealing art,
because security is so prevalent. I mean, there's so much advances in security. It's not like just two guys standing outside of a doorway all night long.
Yeah, there's a lot of laser beams, and you got to smoke in front of them so you can see them.
Tons of laser beams,
yeah.
A lot of heat sensors. We recently went to see the Titanic exhibit.
Oh, right.
Which this is cool how this kind of wraps together.
Sure.
And they had a lot of artifacts, original artifacts that were from the bottom of the sea where the Titanic was, and they had them in these glass cases. They had them temperature controlled, just these little 12 by 12 boxes, temperature controlled, and if you leaned up against them or if you tapped on the glass too hard, they would go exactly.
What was temperature controlled and why?
Every artifact they had was temperature controlled.
Why? They wanted to preserve it as if it was still at the bottom of the sea?
I think that a lot of that stuff is very delicate. They had clothing, they had metals, they had, and so I would think that, natural air could rust it, and stuff like that, and moisture could rust it.
Wow.
Not that it wasn't already rusted bolts anyway, but they had a lot of stuff.
Interesting.
Thank you.
1990, Twin Peaks premieres on ABC.
Never watched it. Never. This show is built on the back of his back burps.
Whew. Excuse me.
Get your stink on.
I did watch Twin Peaks.
Really?
Recently. It's all on Netflix. I saw it about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's a really weird show. It is not like that's the whole thing about Twin Peaks. Like, you want to watch a weird show? This is it. It's not a lie. It's a really weird show.
What was the premise of it?
Laura Palmer is dead, and they send in a guy to find out who it is. I think they spend the first maybe 20 episodes trying to figure out who it is, and I think the series was going to be like, you're never going to find out who it is.
Sure.
You're going to go down
Like How I Met Your Mother. You ever found out who the mother was.
Exactly. You go down every single rabbit hole, every possible angle, but you're never going to find out. And then the studio says, the public wants to know. You better damn well tell them if you want to keep going. And they did end up wrapping it up. And then it went on for a few, 15 episodes after that before it was canceled. You know what it is? It's a melodrama. It's a primetime soap opera. That's what that show was.
Okay.
A lot of kind of jazzy music in and out, a lot of weird things, a lot of.
I love the way you move.
Just I love the way you move. Down, down, down.
I mean, you're like jazz. As soon as you said jazzy, like you just swayed back and forth. Your shoulders are. You were all about it.
But now you don't need to see Twin Peaks, right?
Exactly.
I nailed it for you.
There's no reason for you to watch it now.
You've seen Twin Peaks through me. The Milli Vanilli duo's producer reveals that the Grammy-winning pop duo were lip-syncing songs on the album, which gained them the award.
Didn't we recently talk about Milli Vanilli and how it was during the 1990s?
Well, Milli is dead.
Right.
And Vanilli, I remember he's alive because vanilla is my skin's like vanilla and I'm alive.
Right. I think the last time you brought it up in regards to like flashing back or whatever, was when you said they got busted. It was so that was probably 1990 as well.
Right. And we almost bought a plane from them.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
So before
Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, 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 I love you.
Great song. Okay, so we're 9 years old. You were 15 years old. Why did we choose to watch Heil, Honey, I'm Home?
There's 3 simple criteria that we use to decide what show we're going to watch. A, it was a failed pilot. That means there was only one episode made. Whether it was aired or not is indifferent, but only one episode was made. Number 2, it had to be readily available. We had to be able to find it, to be able to watch it, to be able to talk about it.
That's right.
And number 3, it had to be free. We'd have no more money. We bought this plane. Mm-hmm. It was a good investment, but we thought for sure by now we would be making some money. We do have tickets for CouchCon.
Yeah.
Still for sale, but they're not selling as rapidly as I expected.
Well, the VIP is all that's left.
Oh, yeah.
We got a handful of VIP packages for CouchCon coming up this
General
week.
admission, they sold out in 15 minutes.
Boom. We had a window between Christmas of 2016 and New Year's of 2016, and they sold out almost instantly.
I was hoping that those VIP tickets would sell like Hamilton tickets sell.
How much did they sell for?
I would say I got decent seats for Chicago.
Decency?
Decent seats.
Okay.
On a Tuesday, and they're almost $200 a piece.
Oh my God. Whew. Oh boy.
Hey, I'm.
What? You're what?
I'm excited.
I would be too. Where can you find the entire episode of Heil, Honey, I'm Home? Well, you can find the show by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in the show notes, or go to YouTube.
And you know what to do, too. I thought we were going to say it together.
Okay. Or go to YouTube.
And you know what to do, Tube.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Every time we fly, and I don't see DSJ's cones down there, I get unnervy.
I want you. Love that. Blame It on the Rain?
Blame it on the rain that was slowly falling. Blame it on the rain.
All night. Summary of the pilot. In Berlin, 1938, Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun have a love-hate relationship with their Jewish neighbors in this bizarre spoof of 50s American sitcoms.
That is a very good summary. That pretty much summarizes the show that we watched, which... To me, that's one of the cornerstones of the show is those summaries. I mean,
people stop me all the time on the street. What makes a good summary?
Do you collaborate and listen?
I do, and I usually say I'm back with a brand new invention. And they say, "What's that?" I say, "It's summaries."
There you go.
I say, "Getting something and summarizing it." So summarizing is the hallmark of a good summary, wouldn't you say?
I would think so. It's taking a large piece of information,
Yes,
and shrinking it down to where it can be manageable to your brain.
a little bite-sized.
Yeah, and just summarizing a large body of text.
That's it's not too much to ask for, I would say. Would you?
It's too much to expect, but it's not too much to ask.
Thank you very much. This next section of the show, a lengthy section this time, I would say, and it's a very divisive. It takes things and it rips them apart, and that's interesting facts.
Okay, Conrad rule is in effect.
Yeah.
Jason's going to give you these facts. They're not for us to decide whether they're interesting or not.
It's just the name of the section.
Yeah, just the name of the section. Everything has to have a title. Don't look over at your lover, whatever gender they may be.
So often people are listening to the show with their lover. From my
If you want to
experience.
be my lover, you got to have interesting facts. Yeah, so don't quantify these facts. Just listen to them, absorb them, and go about your merry way.
That's right. So let's get started. Now, this one, I almost don't want to say it first because I know you're going to be biting your tongue. Although 8 episodes were shot, only the pilot was ever transmitted following accusations of bad taste.
Okay.
That essentially violates one of the rules of Couch Pilots.
It does, but there's always loopholes. I mean, we have found loopholes on purpose. We have stumbled upon loopholes, and I believe, spoiler alert, you stumbled upon this.
You're absolutely right. Maria Friedman replaced Danica Fairman in unaired subsequent episodes. So I think Danica Fairman was Ava Braun. So that person in the unaired episodes was a different actress. Patrick Cargill, distinguished character actor and comedy actor of 40 years, made his final screen appearance in this. And I believe that was the Prime Minister.
Oh, this was I've seen him in other things. You're saying this was
but
the
not
last,
since then,
right?
right?
You're saying that was the last thing he did.
Can you imagine going out with this?
Talk about tarnishing your career.
That's a legacy flushed down the toilet. The television historian Marion Calabro described it as perhaps the world's most tasteless situation comedy. In 1990, I feel like the situation comedy had pretty much run its course. And to be the world's most tasteless, I mean, we're talking a time in which Married with Children exists, and still this is the most? That's a pretty big slap in the face for this.
I would think that has a lot to do with the subject matter.
Oh, of course. Some have defended it as being in the same tradition of Third Reich parodies as Allo Allo and Hogan's Heroes, or along similar lines to the portrayal of Hitler as a domestic fool, as in the film The Producers. I get that. I get it.
I've never seen The Producers, so.
Well,
I have seen Hogan's Hero.
Okay. Now, that is not I've never seen Hogan's Heroes. That is not about a sandwich. Is that fair to say?
No, that's Hoagie's Heroes.
Okay. Has Hulk Hogan ever eaten a hero, you think?
Oh, yeah. He's like, let me tell you, brother. I'm going to eat this hoagie, and I'm going to go in the ring, and I'm going to wrestle the Macho Man.
Macho Man, oh, yeah. Patterned after I Love Lucy, the actors have New York accents. That's silly.
Yeah, they weren't very German or Polish.
Not in the least. Only the pilot was ever screened, although 8 episodes were planned, and a number were recorded in which a story arc was about Adolf and Ava's attempt to kill the Goldsteins without the Goldsteins knowing it is Adolf and Ava. That makes it worse.
It's dark.
The show is one of the most controversial programs ever to have been screened in the UK. It was listed as number 61 on Channel 4's 100 Greatest TV Moments from Hell.
That's not a list you want to be on.
Do you think Satan has got a list of sitcoms?
Well, I think he's got a lot of time on his hands down there.
He's roasting for eternity.
Right. He's probably got the best internet access to anybody.
Why is that? Because he's got a dedicated line?
Uh-huh. It's underground.
Yeah.
Underground lines are always better than above ground lines.
You think there's any truth to the fact that everyone has their own personal hell? Like when you die and you will go to hell.
You think so?
Oh, without a doubt. Do you think that?
Why have I been doing all this stuff for my grandma then?
I
thought I was supposed to get a free ticket after that.
Maybe. I hope that you. I mean, I don't want you to go to hell. I suspect that you will.
Are you going to go to hell?
Oh yeah.
Oh, then I want to go then. High five that shit.
High five it. I just think that there's going to be no internet in hell because we all want it so much. So there's no one to share it with. So the devil probably does have the best internet connection.
Yeah, he's not having to feed lines from everywhere else from a box. It's just straight to him.
I accidentally stumbled upon this interesting fact. There was a cartoon opening to this show that was made but not shown. Can you imagine that?
Wow. It's not for me to say.
You can determine whether or not you've imagined it.
I would not have imagined
Interesting facts over. Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. Jason's about to give some Twitter responses.
Now, you've been in this new house for nylon, I should say. I apologize. 4 or 5 months. I have yet to come across your beatboxing trophy. Where do you keep that?
Oh, it's in the garage on top of the refrigerator next to my best supporting role in a non-supporting actor one that I got from Las Vegas.
We'll have to see that on the break.
Oh, also, I do want to show you during the break, I found my baby statue. Now, I bet you guys...
You own a baby statue. Well, I'm not sure what that is.
It's a statue of a gold baby, and it has my name engraved along with my time of birth, weight, and height. I've never met another person that had one of these baby statues.
I think this is the beginning of narcissism. This is the beginning of the entitled generation where you get a trophy for being born. This is a real problem.
But I was born before you.
I have a problem.
What's your problem?
I'm a premillennial entitlist.
Okay.
Isn't it? Okay, high five.
High five.
So we reach out, as we always do, to the writers, the creators, the directors, the actors in the show. And we say, we're couch pilots. We're the best thing that's come since sliced bread. And you're going to tell us everything.
Since avocados.
Oh, avocados are the best. I slice them in the rind before I peel them out. Love it.
Interesting.
I say, you will tell us everything you know about this pilot. And rarely do I get responses. And maybe it's because of my approach.
No, I think people are just cocky.
Rosa Goldstein, the female, the wife, the neighbor, the Jewish lady neighbor, played by the actress Caroline Gruber. I say, hey, we're excited to watch your show. Wonder if you had any fun or inside info you want to contribute. Take care. And I predate all that stuff by saying, we watch shows with only one episode. And she says to me, did you know that we made 7 episodes? Only one show. Pilot was a lot of fun. Enjoy. And I said, what? The ever trustworthy IMDb says there was only one. Are there others available to be seen? And she says, haha, well, the ever trustworthy IMDb has got it wrong. I have the evidence.
Ooh.
And I say, you have the evidence? You can't keep us in suspense. And she says, sorry, but I'm not sharing.
She said that?
Yeah. And then I said, understood. Any fun facts or interesting bits you care to share about your experience with the pilot? Radio silence.
You got ghosted?
I got ghosted by...
all that information, and you got ghosted. Why?
Yeah.
She couldn't say, oh, well, blah, blah, blah was fun to work with, or blah, blah, blah. We got a lot of media press about doing this, blah, blah, blah. No, just ghosted. She Jacob'd your ass.
Big shout out to Mew Jacob and his...
Ghosting abilities.
His whoring, yeah. But no, this woman was a part of the pilot. She was one of the main actresses. Usually we hear from the writers or the creators or directors, but this time it was an actress, so it was really cool to hear from her. She's still alive out there, trotting the boards, as they say, in theater, but unwilling to share what she has concerning the other 7 episodes. I think they're in a vault buried somewhere, maybe at her house even, I don't know.
I really think that I completely understand if she doesn't want to or doesn't know how to go about getting us those. I understand that. What I don't understand is how she can't just give you a tidbit.
That's all right. At least she got back to me at all.
That's true.
Some of these folks are dead.
Yeah, she's not.
She's alive. Yeah, she's not dead at all. She's alive.
She's kicking the boards.
So let's listen to a promo real quick. We'll take a quick break before we come back and break down the pilot. And this is for a promo for one of my favorite shows, and that's Drunken Lullabies.
Hi, this is the voice from Drunken Lullabies. Do you like craft beer, indie music, pop culture, pro wrestling, and pure juvenile hijinks, then you will love Drunken Lullabies on the FCF network. We have new episodes every Sunday, so you can spend the Sabbath getting drunk with us. So join me and my co-host Beer Mansky and our rotating cast of characters as we drink amazing beer, listen to bands we think you need to know, and laugh our asses off. Like Elvis said, 10,000 Drunkomaniacs can't be wrong. Check us out on all podcast platforms and at fcfnetwork.com. May your music be loud and your beers be cold.
And we'll find ourselves in the same old mess, singing Drunken Lullabies. Drunken Lullabies, an amazing show here on the FCF network. They're making money hand over fist.
Did you know that I've never met a man who doesn't like beer? Ever.
Really?
Not one. This show's about beer. It's called Drunken Lullabies. It's about craft beer. We've all had Miller Lights. We've all had Bud Lights.
We've all had Keystone Lights.
Yeah, we've all had Natty Light.
The other day, that's how I paid for my taxes to get done.
Natty Lights.
No, by Keystone Lights. I bought a 30-pack of Keystone Lights, and that was the payment.
Hi, this is the voice from Drunken Lullabies.
I said I knew to do that, and I did not do it at all.
Justin, only one plug per show, buddy.
We got to fix that shit. But yes, you are obviously have an alcoholic accountant, and that's fine as long as he gets the job done.
Hey, it was either that or $496.
Keystone Light is cheaper than that.
Very much so. That's why I bought him 2 15-packs.
So if you like independent music, which I do, if you like craft beer, which I do, then check out oh my God, that's a little bit. Then check out Drunken Lullabies right here on the FCF network. He has sponsors. People say, I like your show, and you have enough listeners to where I will give you money, physical money, not frequent flyer points like we talk about in this program, but actual currency, United States currency, to do your program. He gets it from Iron Spike, great sponsor, brewery out of Galesburg. He gets it from Distill Brewery out of Bloomington, Illinois. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I think what he's doing now is he's laundering it. Like he invested in like a
horse racing.
Horse race. I think he bought a horse. No, dog racing. That's what it was. Dog racing. He bought a dog for dog racing, and that's what he's doing now.
Good. Man's got to make money somehow. Let's break down the pilot of this show.
Break it down.
What a ridiculous show it is. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, not at all. Right off the bat, there's this long text story that I had to like rewind and read, and basically it was just saying that,
I have it right here if you want me to read it.
Oh.
It says, to most people, the name of TV executive Brandon Thalberg Jr. merits no more than an unpublished 3-word footnote in the annals of American situation comedy, yet it was Brandon who some years ago sought to break new ground when he commissioned the series Heil, Honey, I'm Home under the billing, not so much a sitcom, more a hitcom. Unfortunately, neither Brandon nor the series were heard of again until now. A chance discovery in Burbank and a Burbank backlot has revealed the lost tapes of Heil, Honey, I'm Home, the tapes that we believe vindicate Brandon's unsung comic vision. So a little forward, a little almost an apology.
Did you pause and type, then pause and type, and pause and type, or was that online somewhere?
I just looked online for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew better. I knew I wasn't going to be able to type that.
Now that obviously was just with this recording. It wasn't with the original airing, right? Or was it?
I think it was.
Really?
From my research, I think that was on the original airing of the show.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and you can say so because we're out of that section. The show starts with silly, funny intro music, immediately saying, you might have heard of this program and commercials saying it's about Hitler, which is a very serious thing, but we're going to immediately hit you with funny kind of xylophone Dennis the Menace style music in the opening.
And, as soon as Hitler walks in the room, that huge 1960s laugh track, not just the moderate 80s one, but the huge, very loud. This episode is very loud. Like the laugh track is really loud. And all the actors are like yelling the whole time. It's crazy.
It's very loud. I think everything we're seeing is on purpose. There are no accidents.
No.
They're loud because
Definitely.
these are tropes. These are parodies of a bygone era. I even think this could be maybe not the earliest version because we watch Action Family starring Chris Elliott, which I loved. I gave a perfect score to. And they had ironic laugh tracks in it. And that was in the 80s. This, I think, is doing something very similar. This is saying we know that our premise is ridiculous, a sitcom about Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun, but we're gonna have a laugh track, and it will be ironic.
Sure.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
I think that's a plus in the plus column here.
Okay. Plus column. And they both. Hitler walks in the door. Then his wife comes out of the kitchen, and they're quickly have. This is very Honeymooners-esque, very
Absolutely.
I Love Lucy-esque. The set is almost exactly like I Love Lucy, like where the couch is, where the window is, where the door to the kitchen is.
Again, no accidents.
They even had the bar cut out into the kitchen is exactly where it was. That was very apparent.
This was made in 1990. It's set in 1938. Again, this is no accident. This is meant to look like that. This is a parody. This is a satire, if you will, and it's absolutely supposed to look like I Love Lucy. But yeah, Hitler comes home. His wife's complaining. He says, "You're home late every night." She starts bitching at him.
She's like, "You're a bad Hitler."
There's a lot of "you're a bad" and "you're a naughty Hitler."
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Well, Hitler addresses the camera. So he breaks the fourth wall by looking at the camera, and it's
a couple times in this.
He tries to make up to her by saying that the Prime Minister of England is coming over, and because of his ordeal with Czechoslovakia, he had invaded it.
Right. If you don't know a lot about like German and Hitler like history, you will miss some of these jokes. Because I don't have a lot of knowledge about a lot of specifics, and so I think I missed a lot of jokes because I didn't know.
That is details. Key. Specifics is key because they drop some names. I don't know if that fits, but there are a lot of specifics as far as names and specific events that do play as part of the jokes. But if you don't know the history there, you can only assume that you're missing something specific.
And so they're in the kitchen, and Hitler's behind his wife, and he starts tickling her.
Here comes the tickle monster.
Here comes the tickle monster, and I was like, whoa. And she's like, she calls him, his nickname he used to have was Mr. Sausage, and her nickname was Hoochie Coochie Girl.
Yeah, this is some Charo and
I'm thinking, oh yeah, Hoochie Coochie Girl. We're gonna see some titties.
Maybe you can in the UK. I don't know. The BBC has run rampant with nudity.
Watch more BBC.
No doubt. So they're in the kitchen, and she's mad, but she's kind of like. He's warm. He knows what to say to her to get her to back off.
Oh, yeah.
So they're singing and dancing. And again, it makes me think of the Honeymooners. Mm-hmm. So they're really taking all these aspects and exploiting them and having a lot of fun with them. They start talking. He says, "I don't want the Goldsteins coming over. They're our neighbors. These walls are paper thin. They can hear us. The Prime Minister, the most important man in all of Europe, is coming to our apartment.
To eat dinner.
And alone, which is funny.
Right.
But I don't want the Goldsteins anywhere near him. They got to stay away."
And who were the neighbors for I Love Lucy? What was their last name?
Ooh, I don't know. There's only one person that I know that was a huge fan of them, and I cannot talk to her anymore.
Oh, no. You can't? Or you won't?
I won't.
Do you want to have an awkward conversation about that?
What does that mean? You know something I don't, apparently.
No, I don't. I'm just saying.
No. No, an ex-girlfriend...
Ethel Merman. The Mermans.
Yes. An ex-girlfriend of mine would watch I Love Lucy every night. No joke. She did not watch it ironically. She watched it, and it would play while she was sleeping. She knew that show in and out, had seen every episode. No joke, probably 15, 20 times.
Wow. High five that shit.
So next door, the Goldsteins, it goes over to them. There's only two sets here, basically.
Sure.
There's their apartment and their kitchen. There's even a little scene in the hallway, and then you got the Goldsteins, essentially just their bedroom.
Right. Which was a very lavish,
it was very lavish.
The bed and the blankets and stuff, it was very lavish, and there was a bird in this big huge bird cage. It was very lavish.
I was noticing the bed frame and the curvature of the bed frame at the end. I was like, this is very ornate.
I was like, how come these Jews have expensive stuff? I've talked to Big E before, and he assures me that they don't spend any money at all.
You know what's funny is penny pinching and penny wise as Big E is. He's not a drop of Jewish blood in him, right? But he's always the first to pull the trigger on him.
Literally.
Oh, jeez.
He has a gun.
So the Goldsteins are complaining about the Hitlers. They're saying they're always so loud. They're complaining and arguing. They're so loud, and they start complaining to each other. And he says, Arnie, I believe is his name. He says, "I hate your mother."
Yeah, that was really weird. Her name is Ruth.
The mother's name?
Yeah. No, the Ruth is the wife's. No,
Rosa.
no.
That's Rosa.
Rosa. I'm sorry, Rosa Parks.
Ruth, I think, is the niece.
Yeah, I got ahead of myself.
But they here they kind of confirmed, yes, they are in Berlin, and then they start talking about Ruth, saying, she's kind of awkward.
Because originally he thought his mother-in-law was coming, and he hates his mother-in-law, but it ends up being her niece that's coming, and that's Ruth.
She's in her 20s and she's not dating. It's kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with this girl.
And when she finally came in, like there was this weird entrance. She came in. I'm getting ahead of myself. What?
No, well, they're in the next scene. The next scene, getting ready for that night's dinner with the prime minister, right? Everyone's over there, and then the Goldsteins come over, right?
Right.
And Arnie comes by, and it looks like they leave together. Were they carpooling somewhere or something?
Yeah, I think that's what the bit was. They're carpooling. I'm like, Hitler would never carpool with a Jew. This never happened.
This would really hit home. Like, this is the honeymooners. This is that thin dude with the vest and the hat comes over. He's Kramer style sliding. Yeah. Then they're off together to do some kind of crazy activity,
go bowling or something.
Exactly.
And so Ava is super excited the prime minister is coming, and she wants to tell Mrs. Goldstein about it. But she promised Hitler that she wouldn't tell her, but if she figures it out. So she started giving a bunch of clues and playing charades.
I couldn't tell if she was trying to piss off her neighbor, or no, piss off Hitler, Adolf, by letting the secret out, or if she was trying to brag.
It was all about bragging, because Lucy would do that with Ethel. She would brag about stuff because that's just the way women are.
So she's like, "What do you think the most important man in England would like for dinner?" and all this stuff. And she's like, "What do you got? Who's coming over? What are you talking about?" And then they're like playing charades until finally Rosa figures out who exactly is it is. What's his name? Neville Chamberlain.
Neville Chamberlain. Mm-hmm. And
when she guesses, they go nuts.
Oh, they go nuts. I think, don't they Heil Hitler each other?
There's a lot of Heil Hitlers.
There's a lot of...
Whenever they're pointing at something, it's a lot of arms going straight out. And to me, it whether it's, like Hogan's Heroes or not, it kind of trivializes the events.
Yeah, it does. And so then Mrs. Goldstein has the idea that she wants to set Neville up with Ruth.
Yep.
And I'm like, how do you go from just finding out that the prime minister is coming to your next door neighbor's house is like, hey, I'm going to set my weird niece with her.
She's like a dumpy, awkward woman.
Very dumpy. She had a very awkward entrance into the scene when she came in.
Just kind of humping around, like huffing and puffing around and just being weird.
So it's the next day, right?
Yep.
And they're getting ready. And so the Goldsteins show up at Hitler's apartment. Mm-hmm. And...
they show up with tea and strumpets.
Crumpets?
Right.
And this is the first time that Hitler breaks the fourth wall. He's like, looks at the screen like, she knows.
Well, he does in the very beginning when they're complaining.
Okay, I'll correct myself.
I'll
correct myself.
All right, thank you very much.
I'll go ahead and correct myself.
All right. You see Arnie in the hallway there, and the way he talks and the way he dresses, I'm thinking, this man is a schlub.
Oh, yeah. To me, he looks like he should be like in a condo, like a pool.
In Florida?
In Florida,
Yeah.
exactly.
But they live, again, as we talked about before, in a very, almost like a lavish apartment. And they're living next door to the ruler of Germany.
Right. Why would the ruler of Germany have an apartment?
I mean, for comic reasons, I guess. But, how did this other guy, what does he do for a living? We never really get into that.
I think he's into laundry or something to do. I believe it has to do with laundry or, what do they call it? Dry cleaning.
Okay. Well, they're living in a nice apartment either way. And so they're getting ready to go in. And now Hitler knows that his wife told the Goldsteins. And he knows that the Goldsteins know. So he corners Ava in the kitchen because they pop in with all this food and all this stuff. And he's like, what are you guys doing here? He's like, we got someone very important coming over. And he's like, what did you tell them
for?
Right,
she knows. So Hitler decides the best way to get rid of them is to get them really drunk and pass out, and then they can just drag them out.
Yeah. At this point, too, I noticed that every photograph you see of Adolf Hitler...
Photograph. What's your price for flight? Finding Mr. Right. I think I messed up that song. I turned it into a different song. I went from Def Leppard to Night Ranger on accident.
Both classic 80s bands. And, if I had my way, they'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Who?
Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, love the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. The Goldsteins get drunk on schnapps. Which schnapps, I mean, like when you're in high school or when you're really young, schnapps is a good way to get drunk.
Yeah.
But as a 42-year-old man, if somebody says schnapps, I don't want anything to do with it. Real quick story about schnapps.
Please.
One night, me and my stepbrother,
Oh my.
we were drinking peach schnapps and orange soda.
Oh, God.
I threw up so much that I filled the toilet up and you couldn't flush it because it was.
You broke the toilet with puke.
You couldn't. That's how much I puked.
Oh, boy.
That's back when, like there was like Channel 5 or something that was like it had all the announcements. It was like the cable.
Oh,
like,
local channel. Yeah, the cable marketplace.
yes, and it had the dating thing on it where you remember that? And like profiles would come through.
People's faces would be on
No,
Channel
the faces wouldn't, but it was like it had like their age and everything.
Personals?
And then
Personal ads?
It was like personal ads on the TV. And I met a girl one time that way.
No, you did not.
Yes, I
You were
did.
watching Channel 5 cable marketplace. You saw someone's profile came up and you dialed the phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And?
And she happened,
I bet you had sex with her.
Nope. She happened to live in the same apartment complex as my brother. It was like 3 buildings down.
Yeah.
I walk down there. I come in, she invites me in, obviously. She had 5 kids. And she was, this is back when I was in my early 20s. And she had 5 kids. I couldn't figure out a way to get out of there fast enough. And she was watching NASCAR.
Yep. All of that checks out.
I'm not lying. That is not a bit. That's honest to God true.
There's not one part of that story that does not make sense. That is all.
She was very short, very round, and had 5 kids.
If she would have offered you sex, what would you have said?
I wouldn't have taken it.
Really?
Back then, I was getting poontang all the time. I had it to the left of me.
What about to the right?
I had it to the right of me.
Very
back
nice.
then, I could choose back then. That's what, folks.
Okay,
You young guys that are listening right now. There comes a time when in your life where
Choices disappear.
choices disappear.
They're getting ready for this party. Hitler, every time you see him in history books, he's always wearing the military garb.
Mm-hmm.
Very serious about the face. When he's getting ready for the party, he's wearing like a nice button up and like
Cardigan
a
sweater.
nice sweater.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought,
like the checker, like the diamond checkered.
yeah, I was like, what? Like an Argyle sweater. Something like, what a refreshing way to see Hitler.
Yes.
What an approachable and infallible Hitler.
Well, they couldn't make him seem, mean or overbearing. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
He's got to be a lovable Hitler, right?
And one of the things in this show, you'll find out the guy that plays Adolf Hitler in this
yeah.
looks a lot like Will Forte. I really think he does. About halfway through the show, I was like, Molly, that looks like Will Forte.
From Saturday Night Live.
And from
Last Man on Earth, yeah.
Yes, it does look like him.
Oh, love Will Forte. Did you know that Will Forte is often cited as the only SNL cast member in the entire history to never break on the show? Never.
I don't know about that.
I believe I do know about that.
Really?
He is he doesn't break to a fault where I am sure that he is an emotional nightmare. Like, I bet he is a crazy person. I love him. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, boy.
They find out that Neville, the guy that was supposed to pick Neville up at the airport, screwed up. So Hitler's going to the airport himself.
That's another joke. Joseph Goebbels is one of his right hand, like one of Hitler's right hand.
Oh,
men.
see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's a reference to an actual historical horrible figure.
Do you know who George Washington's right hand man was?
His wooden teeth.
Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, was it really? Mm-hmm. You are. You have so much knowledge about a very narrow scope in history, don't you?
Yeah, but I would have never have had it. You know what I mean? I would have never known as much as I do. And
is there a song about them being friends?
Oh, there's one called Right Hand Man.
Will you sing just one bar?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it.
But this show is...
It
has been said that this show is built on the back of your songs.
I'm not going to sing when asked to sing. That ruins the bit.
Well, I'm going to do reverse psychology.
It's not going to work.
You know what I don't want to hear? A song about a friendship.
I'll play it.
All right, that's fine. While you're queuing that up, I'm going to burp.
Okay. This show is built on the back of his back burps.
Okay, so Ava's like, you better be nice to the Goldsteins. They're here. They're not going anywhere. You got Hitler, or the prime minister's coming over. Okay, you better just treat him nice. So the prime minister thinks you're a nice guy who treats his neighbors well. Commercial break.
Have you ever had neighbors that you just could not stand no matter how much you tried?
Yes.
Do you remember when I lived in that hood? After the tornado, I lived in the hood.
South of Derby off of 4th?
Yeah, that next door neighbor, he would like leave dirty diapers outside of his door, and like he would leave his door open and listen to like Blackhawks games, like at the loudest level possible for his TV. He was just a douche manouche.
Yeah, real scumbag. I had a guy who, I believe he's like 38, 39 years old. If someone would ask me, I would have guessed he was about 50, 58. And he was a real piece of shit. My roommate at the time would hang out with him. They would get high together, and he would just spend all day hanging out with this loser. And he was crazy. And one time he threatened to beat me up, and I said, "Go on, come. You want you some? Come get you some." And he didn't come after me.
Why don't you some come get you some?
You want you some? Come get you some. And he would always, but he was alone.
You want you some? You come get you some.
He was a lonely guy, and we lived right above him. He used to hit the ceiling all the time, like shut up. But we weren't party animals or anything.
Fuck that guy.
But he's dead. Thank God.
All right, Parkinson.
Your old landlord was his landlord at one time.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah.
Hitler and Neville are in the hall, and there's jokes that I don't understand. There's more jokes I don't understand.
They're arriving at the party.
They're arriving at the party. They're arriving at the apartment.
Hitler had to leave and go pick him up since his buddy didn't do it right.
Hitler opens the door. The Goldsteins are drunk off their ass. Like, I've never seen anybody act this way being drunk. They were just really being goofy. Mrs. Goldstein ends up kissing Neville.
She's very obnoxious, and she's kind of smitten with.
Now, this is the one
that
this is the one that has the top secret videos.
This is the one that responded to us on Twitter. That's right. And then as embarrassed as Ava and Hitler should be, the little sigh of relief because the prime minister seems to kind of be into it.
Oh yeah, he. Hey, if I know anything about prime ministers, they're down to party.
Wow.
And actually, at one point, the prime minister Neville Chamberlain,
yeah,
like Wilt.
That's absolutely right.
No relation. He sings "I'm a Little Teapot."
Does he ever?
Whenever I see somebody sing "I'm a Little Teapot" and do the dance, it makes me feel fucking awkward. I think to myself, this person is developmentally disabled. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way that I would sing that for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Despite that, though, Hitler thinks it's not going well and is upset, and Ava tries to calm him down by saying the prime minister probably thinks that he is a down-to-earth guy.
Right.
He's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's like, he sees you got down-to-earth friends. He knows you're just loosey-goosey, cool guy.
I didn't know. I don't know history that well either to say, Neville Chamberlain is this age or that age in 1938. Sure. But Rosa goes to get Ruth, we already see as a young girl. There's a massive age gap between these two people.
Ruth is probably 24 at tops.
Yeah.
At tops.
Tops.
And Aaron Neville is probably 70.
Cocoa butter.
I got all this money, but I won't get this my own remove.
I don't know much,
but I know all I need.
Would that be great if Aaron Neville played Neville Chamberlain in this?
It would be amazing.
Hitler and the prime minister go to the kitchen to talk privately, and they're talking about Hitler being a naughty Hitler in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
A lot of naughty Hitler talk.
Yeah, exotic naughty Hitler talk. And Will Chamberlain, Neville, wants him to sign a peace in our time document.
Yeah, says, I don't know why you invaded Czechoslovakia. I want you to cut this shit out.
Don't be a naughty boy.
Show this European Union you have some goodwill towards it by signing this agreement, this accord, if you will. And then Hitler is like, I don't think so.
Right. He puts it in the icebox.
We find out it's an icebox. At the time, I thought he was putting it in an oven, and I was like, Hitler should not be putting anything in an oven. This is terrible.
Wow. That you were like, you know what? If you would have wrote that script, you would have put that in there.
As horrible as I'm saying it would be, I would without a doubt put that in the script.
It's like when they did that, you like inadvertently they like drew a line. They're like, we'll make all these Hitler jokes, we'll make all these jokes, but we cannot do anything to do with an oven.
Everything I was watching, I was looking through that lens of what does it mean? What is this? Just below the surface hidden message? And I thought it was the oven. I was like, no, that is the line. Ugh. And then in the next scene, you find out is a refrigerator. And I was like, that's way better.
And doesn't Hitler breaks the fourth wall again? I think right around here as well.
Just talking directly to the camera, kind of a little narration, a little of what's in his brain at that
Comes
exact
back
moment.
out in the living room, and there's a conga line going,
Yeah.
and they're going, I came, I saw, I conquered. I came, I saw, I conquered. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know a lot about Hitler history, but wasn't that one of his sayings, is I came, I saw, I conquered?
Yeah. He said that almost, I think he said it right before he went to bed every night.
I came, I saw, I conquered. I came, I saw, I conquered.
Hitler has seen enough. He makes a little game out of what the Goldsteins are doing and kind of gets them to leave based on this tiny little like turn around, march towards the door, and they're like having fun doing it, and he kicks their asses right out of there.
And that's when he starts to get kind of loud, to be honest with you. He's like, you out of here!
Yeah, and so he turns around and he looks at the prime minister, kind of worried what he'll think about him.
You're a very naughty Hitler.
The very naughty little Hitler. That's absolutely what the prime minister says.
I would love to spank a Hitler butt.
Say
Just to see what happens.
Say again?
Huh?
You want to treat Hitler like a little boy and spank his little boy
I
bottom?
just want to spank his bottom and see what happens.
Hitler tries to prove he's a good guy, and he signs the peace agreement.
Yeah, he signs a peace agreement, and as he's signing it, you're just like, first of all, you can't sign a piece of paper on somebody's hand. It doesn't work that way.
And I was also like, I know how this is really going to end.
Right.
With the extermination of millions of Jewish people.
Right.
Not a lot of, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's something funny about that, but not a lot.
Right. And so Neville's like, hey, I hate to do this, but I got to go. I've got a dinner date. And he says he's taking Ruth out to dinner.
And I know what that means, too.
He's going to get some young.
He's going to exterminate that pussy.
He's going to get some wang tang, sweet young poo tang.
Yeah, just like, who used to say that? Wango Tango.
Wango tango. Wang
The Motor City Madman,
yeah,
right?
Ted DiBiase. It was Ted Nugent, but Ted DiBiase seemed like I couldn't pass it up.
The $1 million nuge.
Yeah, Ava and Hitler have that last kiss.
Hitler seems very satisfied with himself, all things considered. The end. Oh, my God. I don't think there's ever been one pilot that we've done that had more potential than Turbulence in this.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Turbulence. That's what we do. This is the part of the show where we take a look at the show and we think, what went wrong? Why didn't it work? Why did it not go to series?
There's a lot to work with here.
In the immortal words of the great Captain Black Magnet, there's a Trevor Troes.
I can't tell you how many times in my life I've said Trezor Troes. What is it? Trevor Troes?
I need to wear my teeth. That's the problem.
I don't know about that.
No, I need to wear my teeth.
Why did this work?
It was a comedy spoof on Hitler.
I think if we reread the summary, that'll tell us why it didn't work.
Right, that would be the official reason why it wouldn't work. They're the best comedy writers in the world could not write this to where it wouldn't be offensive to 75% of planet Earth. Really, I mean,
we're talking.
If you do a skit like on Saturday Night Live, you can get away with it. But you're like, I'm going to do a half-hour comedy. I'm going to make this a weekly show.
Yeah.
You can get away with a 5-minute skit on Saturday Night Live. You cannot get away with this.
You're absolutely right, and I think that definitely comes into some of the critic reviews that we're going to hear coming up. But this is a show about the man responsible for attempted genocide,
right?
And it's a comedy. That's not funny. That's not a funny thing to talk about. What would you do to improve it?
I mean.
Could you do anything to improve this?
I don't think so. The subject matter kills it right off the bat. I mean, this is not the art of Nick. We can't work our way around it. We can't take this lump of dough and make it into a good pizza. This is just, there's no way you're going to make this work. No way. Even on British television.
Boy, you're right. I think when you say Adolf Hitler is the star of this show,
right,
there is nowhere you can go that people will be like, this is acceptable. I will watch this.
And they made 8 of them.
They made 8. Thank God they're stowed away in this broad's basement. She won't let us see them.
You think maybe that's part of it? Like, she felt bad, like, after she did it. Maybe she felt bad for her part in it. And, like, she's like, but why would she have, like,
she wants to, like, distance herself from the project?
I would think so.
It's 27 years later. I would hope that she feels far enough away from it at this point. I don't know. There really is not a lot. I mean,
you shouldn't do it. That's plain and simple.
I mean,
it shouldn't have been done.
You watched. I think it's since been canceled. But the Muppets had like a kind of a meta show within a show.
I love the Muppets. Only one season.
But could you do something like that where it's a behind the scenes kind of look at his life? Could you do it where
satire? No.
Oh, man.
No.
They really you can't.
Can't.
You're really pigeonholed as a man who is a mass murderer, and you can't make that funny. It's like having a sitcom about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right,
you know?
exactly. Like, are you gonna do like Marilyn Manson, not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson comedy?
Yeah, funny you say that. I just
He
watched
ate people.
Charles Manson ate people?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Huh. I just watched the Dustin let me borrow. Ben. Good God, that's the bottom.
Now I know where it's at. Now I know where the bottom is at.
It just took someone with guts like me to identify it. The Ben Stiller show, he let me watch that. And there were segments where Bob Odenkirk played Charles Manson, and people would ask him for advice, and he would go on a tangent for like 30 seconds just talking about this, capitalism is coming at me from all these angles. And then at the end, he would give like one half sentence of genuine, honest advice that made complete sense. And that was funny. Could I watch a half hour comedy about him? Probably not.
No.
These are digestible chunks.
Yeah.
You can, and I think that's what Hogan Heroes was, wasn't it? Just a lot of little chunks of things.
Well, Hogan's Hero wasn't so much focused on Adolf Hitler. It was more focused on a group of guys that were prisoners, but they could, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it wasn't morbid or anything. Like, it was a big goof off stuff.
Oh, boy.
And they also showed on Hogan's Hero, the Nazi guardsmen were very bumbling idiots.
You're right.
Now, I guess if you made Hitler seem like a bumbling idiot on this show, you might have gotten away with it. But still, that's awfully difficult.
That's a tall order, right?
Tall drink of water.
Boy, let's take this in for a final descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
What is everyone saying about, and I mean, it's not a common thing or a current thing, but what have people said about Heil, Honey, I'm Home? Now, you are a cheater, pumpkin eater. Did you go to IMDb?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay, what would you guess the score on IMDb is?
3.5.
It's a 5.6.
Gee, I've never gotten it right.
That's tough, though, when you start adding points in. Not the bottom. 5.6.
Not the bottom.
And we're back. 5.6 from 298 ratings on IMDb. Critic reviews. Ira Ponto from JustPressPlay.com says, Heil, Honey, I'm Home is a funny idea, but that idea's endurance is limited to a short film or a sketch at best, so it was probably for its own good that it was canceled after just one episode. This first episode could be found floating around the internet tubes if you look hard enough. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hard did you look?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I started off with going to YouTube.
Did you know what to YouTube?
Of course I did. Took me right there. The website TV Tropes says the show's ultimate intent seemed to illustrate and parody the banal, cookie-cutter nature of most TV shows in this style. If one changed the names of the main characters, along with a couple of lines, the show would be indistinguishable from a genuine post-war sitcom. And the humor is largely derived from the jarring fact that the domestic fool main character just happens to be Hitler. That said, it's hard to see how the premise, originally envisioned as a comedy sketch, would have been maintained over a series of shows.
Can't do it.
And the UK says, you know what's a lot of episodes per season? 5. Yeah. So could it even make it that? I don't know. I don't know that it could.
I don't know.
Viewer reviews. Absolutely brilliant.
What?
The funniest show
Says Adolf Hitler.
The funniest show I've ever seen concerning Nazi Germany. I will second that emotion, I guess.
Yeah.
It's also the least funny sitcom I've seen about Nazi Germany. Yeah.
There's nothing funny about Nazi Germany, no matter what side you're on.
Simply has no laughs, bite, wit, or point. Poor taste is neither here nor there without these factors to justify it. That's Mein Führer, 7 out of 10 scars. It's hard to rate the series as only a pilot episode was broadcast. A copy which was taped on home viewers VCR can be found on YouTube. So it's not fair to judge whether or not one note joke could have gotten old or if the show would have been taken into a different direction. Hail Comedy Genius, 10 out of 10 scars.
What?
I don't know what to think of it. 5 out of 10 scars. Is someone being just honest?
Yeah.
What else here? This is what happens when you let hamsters do network programming. 1 out of 10 scars.
This show's built in the back.
Oh my gosh. Wretched unfunny. 1 out of 10 scars. Who thought this was a good idea? 1 out of 10 scars.
I like that one. You know what? I like that one. That review is good.
Well, thank you very much, Altair 42002 from the United States of America. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Not a lot of love. 5.6. We've seen things rated worse, but not a lot of love for this show. I wonder how much love you and I have for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt.
First of all, I want to compliment you. This is the second week in a row you have barreled through like a fucking man to get through this shit, and I appreciate it.
Because I'm sick?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm not that sick. I just got a lot of phlegm.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it,
Oh, thank
fucking
you.
asshole.
I can't take
Trying
a
to be
compliment.
nice.
And you know what? Thank you for getting that out of the way. Thank you for putting us kind words, because we have to put that aside.
Kind words? We have to put kind words aside?
We do for this section of the show.
Okay, right.
What we have to do now is take a pragmatic, logical approach to our feelings about this show. We bantered. We talked about Harrison Ford. We gave you a summary. We gave you the interesting facts. We tell you what people from around the world had to say. But now we have to regurgitate a number. We have to talk about what we feel about this show, taken from the classic scale, 1 to 7.
Can you go through them real quick for new listeners?
Absolutely. The scale is based on the common and most frequent characters from the television show of the mid-90s called Wings. You got a 1 through 7 scale. The worst you can get, Roy Biggins. Number 2, Faye Cochran. Number 3, Antonio Scarpacci. Number 4, Joe Hackett. Number 5, friend of the show, Bud Bronsky, played by the actor Brian Haley. Number 6, a Helen Chappell. And number 7, the best a man can get, Brian Hackett. Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate Heil, Honey, I'm Home?
I don't consider myself a racist person. I hate everybody, so to me that null and voids it out. I hate everybody, so I'm not racist. I laughed. I did laugh during this. I did laugh a couple times during this. The premise was so obscure, that's why I think I was laughing. But I didn't laugh because, Adolf Hitler killed a bunch of Jews, like probably Big E was doing.
Yeah.
But I was laughing because there was a couple. I'm going to give it a 3. I want to go lower just for all the Jews out there. Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
Yeah. Rest in.
I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay. I'm going to go one higher.
Oh,
this is a 4.
I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy.
I did laugh because all the Jews died. No, this was a silly premise. This is a untread territory. It was a ballsy move in 1990 to make a show like this. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I like and can appreciate the ironic factor of the laugh track and what they were trying to do. I do not think in any way it could sustain itself as a regular series, but I will give it a number 4 for its attempt and decent execution.
And balls.
And of course, the testicles. That's always part of the factor in my rating. And with that, we close the book on Heil, Honey, I'm Home, forever, never to be mentioned again.
Ever.
But we're not done. As long as there's TV
Are we ever?
shows,
We're never going to be done.
we'll be dead soon, and then we'll be done. That'll be about it.
Hopefully our kids will carry on this show.
Oh, they would not.
You see Eli and Lorelai doing this show?
Not at all.
No?
No.
Okay. Guess I'll change the will.
That's in your will?
Somebody's got to carry on this. I mean, this is a big-ass plane. You're just going to let it rot, just sit out in the sun for years and years and rot?
Well, you know, when I'm dead, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay, Virginia. That's exactly what I heard yesterday.
From your grandma?
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to sell it. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to go into debt. And I'm like, that's dumb.
Did you inherit podcasting from your grandma?
Oh, no.
As long as there are television pilots out there with only one episode, we'll be there, shining the light of justice on them as we so often do. But join us next time, won't you, when we watch the pilot episode of Young MacGyver. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Angus MacGyver's nephew quits school and joins the Phoenix Foundation, but he finds it difficult to follow in the shoes of his famous uncle. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do.
YouTube.
What?
Nobody has...
What's that? Yeah.
We were still waiting for a listener to send you a tube. The side of it says YouTube. Does everybody use toilet paper? Does everybody use paper towels? Can everybody write?
These tubes are readily available, right?
Yeah.
So why not get a tube out? Right, you know what to do tube on it, and then send us a photo. Send us a photo on Instagram.
Okay. If you're gonna be a pussy and just send us a photo, that's fine, I guess. I mean,
I would love to get my hands on the actual tube,
because I wouldn't put it up here in the studio.
I would, let's hang it from the rafters. There's a couple things I want to address real quick before we go, and that is I mentioned classically blue links. Now, are links blue yet? We had a real problem. We've been talking about classically blue links from almost day one.
I did it the way I was supposed to. I don't know.
So are they blue or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't looked.
They could be famously fuchsia, perhaps.
They're going to be a different color on iTunes for sure.
Well, we got to figure something out here. We have.
It's not as easy as you think.
Well, I think personally, I think it's very easy. Just me thinking about it right now, it's very easy for me to think blue.
Let's go look on Couch Pilots Podcast. Okay, all right. You know what? To be honest with you, this will help. I'm going to go to CouchPilotsPodcast.com. All right, and
while you're doing that, I will say the reason that this is so important is because all of our frequent flyers have to understand that what they're clicking on is safe. There's no viruses. There's no malware. There's no spyware. Are you having a good time?
I'm always, every time I'm with you.
I don't want them to click in fear, okay? That's what I want. I want them to click knowing that where they're going to get on the other side is going to be just as safe as where they came from, and that's what the classically blue link stands for.
Okay, if you go to CouchPilotsPodcast.com, and yes, it is classically blue.
Fantastic.
It is classically blue.
Fantastically blue, some would say.
See right here, the art of being Nick? That's classically blue. There, some would say, oh, that's royal blue. No, that is classically blue. Now, I don't have iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could go look, if you wanted to, you could go look on iTunes for the newest episode, which, as of this recording, was The Art of Nick. And you can scroll down and tell me what to do.
Well,
this show is built on the backs of my inability to do electronic stuff.
Very good. Want to contact the show? Want to give us a YouTube or an actual physical tube with the words written on it? Go to couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. Check us out at Couch Pilots Podcast on Facebook. Check me out on Couch Pilots Pod on Twitter. Yeah. I'm always reaching out. You'll be right there in the thick of the conversation.
And as funny as I am so bad with Twitter that like the half the conversation with that lady I knew about, the other half I had no idea about because I can log on to that and it's all Japanese to me.
Yeah, it's fairly easy. I'm a bit of a Luddite myself, so I trudge my way through it, but it's not bad.
But CouchPilotsPodcast.com will take you to the place where everything is.
Everything's right there at your fingertips. Call us at 910-PILOTS-1, 910-745-6871. You heard the voicemail today from Adam Z, right? That could be you. That could be your dumb voice on this show, right?
I don't say it dumb because then I won't.
That could be your good, classically blue voice on this show.
Nice. Good recovery.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to say to our frequent flyers before we go today?
No. I mean, I think we've gone on through everything. You know, there's no use to say anything.
There's no use to say anything else?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Uh-oh.
I am concerned about DSJ, I will say that. So we have to lay in this thing, gas it up a little bit. Do you think your brother can gas it up for us?
Sure he can.
All right, and we got to get to Mobile, Alabama.
We got to head down there ASAP.
Roll Tide.
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
I love you.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.